This is an antique watch by Elgin. It's got a really nice face with a little second hand counter down there. The only problem with it is broken. It doesn't work at all. You can kind of make it tick a little bit if you turn it, but it's not working. Doesn't wind. I forget if the time sets or not. I disclose it as such, selling it non-working for parts or restoration. It's a 10 karat gold filled. It looks like it was a gift for someone. It has their initials on it. The band is not original. Put this up for $25, and I must have had best offer turned on it by accident. I usually don't do best offer on kind of low dollar stuff. But they sent me an offer of $15. It's been kind of slow this last few weeks, so I decided I'd take the offer and get it out of here. So there it goes. It's a little vintage brooch. It's a gold tone rat with ruby eyes and kind of a whippy little tail. And this was just in the bottom of a jewelry lot. Knew someone would like it. I think, or a rat, maybe it's a mouse. I don't know. I put both, rat and mouse. Anyways, sold this for $12 plus shipping. This is a Foredom flexible rotary tool. It's basically like a drill slash Dremel used by jewelry makers and woodworkers that do really fine work, like making guitars and doing inlay and stuff like that. It's really cool. It hangs up. It's got this flexible shaft. You put your pieces in there. It comes with this little kit of different etching tools and carving tools and sanding, buffing. And it's foot pedal operated, so it's got a variable speed control, and really cool piece. These are pretty sought after. This one here I got at an auction. I paid $60 for it, which is more than I wanted to, but I knew I'd be able to flip it pretty quickly. And at auction, tools tend to have a larger audience. A lot of people are there buying tools, so it can be hard to get stuff at rock bottom prices. So I got it for $60, and it just sold for $225. And I actually had it on best offer, and they just paid full price. This is an antique iron rest from the Enterprise Manufacturing Company out of Philadelphia. Just a cool little piece of iron. It came in the bottom of a box lot, which I kind of just ignored these pieces for a long time, and just was going through some old stuff, decided to list it, and just put it up for $12, and it sold. This is an antique dip pen in the case. It's got a mother of pearl handle and a gold collar there and a gold nib, and the gold nib actually says solid gold on it. No indication of what kind of solid gold, or even if it genuinely is solid gold, but definitely at least gold filled. I thought these would be worth more, but I ended up putting it up for $100, and I went back and forth with a bunch of buyers who were interested in it, but they all wanted it for around $45. But I managed to bring one up to $58. And I got this in a box lot with a bunch of other kind of Victorian era pieces like this. Don't think I paid more than $20 for the box, and this is just one piece of a bunch that sold from that. This is a knife sharpening steel. It's by Wusthof, German brand. It's just a nice piece. It's a very heavy duty. It's got a little bit of tarnish or something going on there. It's got a resin handle with a hanging hook. It's got a little bit of rust on it. And this sold for $22.95, and I got this at a walk-around auction. I got a box. It was like a chef's travel box for from Johnson & Wales University, and there was a couple other knives by the same brand, and I have those up, like a 9-inch or 8-inch chef's knife and a utility knife and a bunch of other peelers and stuff. And that cost me $5, so this pays for the lot, and then I'm just waiting for those knives to sell. This is a nice early yellowware bowl. It's got a slip glaze, kind of the quintessential banded slip glaze that you see on these. This is probably early 19th century, although it could be earlier. It's in really good shape. It's rare to find these without any cracks or chips, or even the wear on the bottom is pretty minimal. It's got a little bit of crackle on the inside. There you can see it. So I listed this for a good price, I think I had it for $140 or $130, and I took a best offer of $125 or $122. So really great piece. These I picked up at an auction. I paid, I think, about $20, maybe less, and I got about 4 of these bowls. This is the nicest one in the lot, as well as some other kind of early crock pieces, all from around the late 1800s, early 1900s. And so pretty good sale right there. This is a set of 3 brass survey markers, and I picked these up at an auction, and they were owned by, I believe it was an elderly couple up in Vermont. And so I think these have been out of the ground for a while. The reason I mention that is these are typically illegal to remove. You're not supposed to pull these out because they were put there by the government to kind of mark for kind of larger survey purposes. And I put them up on eBay, and I immediately had somebody contacting me saying they were disturbed that I was listing these and requesting that I take them down. And I happen to agree with the person because I don't want to put something up that I feel like might enable other people to go out there and, destroy property trying to pull these out and sell them on eBay. So I did pull them down. Then a few days later, I got contacted by somebody who saw them, that they were ended, and said, oh, you probably got contacted by somebody on eBay telling you to pull them down, but I'm interested in buying them. I'm a collector of these things. So I worked it out with them, went back and forth, and arrived at a price. Now, 2 of these come from the estate of George Hendee, which is the founder of Indian motorcycles. So they've got some historical significance. This one from 1939. And then this other one also came from his estate. This one here looks like it was on the coast, and it was probably underwater at some point, and they removed it as sea levels and seaside erosion changes. Well, this was at elevation of 1 foot at one point, but I couldn't find anything about this one. Anyways, this person contacted me, and we worked out a deal, and I ended up selling all 3 of these to him for $500. And so that's a pretty decent sale. I knew that these would be worth something just because of their association with Indian motorcycle. And then I'm in the Massachusetts area. Indian motorcycle was out of Springfield, and it tends to be a relatively favored collectible in this area. This is an incomplete set of copper push tacks for old houses that have hanging screens and storms, the kind of the wooden style that you would hang on the windows. And so you'd basically push one of these numbers into the screen and then push another one of the numbers into the corresponding window. And that way there you would, when it comes time to take down or rehang your screens, you know which one goes where. This sold for $22, and I picked it up in a box lot of kind of old stationery related kind of desk stuff. It was almost like they emptied out somebody's drawers from their desk into a box and sold it. So it was pretty inexpensive. This sold for $22, and just a nice kind of weird item pipeline sale. Little antique wooden beehive style keyhole frame. This came from a tray lot at an auction of some old Victorian era hardware and furniture pieces, and it's been a pipeline item. Just listed them, and they've been slow and steady selling. I knew somebody would be looking for this kind of stuff, and this one here sold for $10. Just a little jewelry piece, actually kind of big. It's a brooch in a kind of eagle feather style. There's no name on it. It's not a precious metal. Listed it for $12.95, and it sold. This is an antique Japanese Satsuma covered jar. I'm no expert in Asian antiques, but it's a cool piece. Came as an auction in an auction tray with some stuff that I wanted. I didn't really want this piece, but it ended up in my lot. I originally listed it for $20 because it had some problems. It's got some cracks. There's actually a whole chunk that's loose right here that kind of moves. Everything else is okay, but it has no authenticating marks or anything to really know what it is, and I'm no expert in it. But I decided to relist it for $80. Just thinking it's a nice piece, someone might like it, and I ended up going back and forth with somebody on best offer, and they were kind of lowballing it, and finally we settled at $34. And I've had really no interest in this piece, so I'm kind of glad to see it go. This is one of those auction box lot items that you typically think you should just throw it away or donate it rather than try listing it, but I figured I'd try listing it. And I put it up as a vintage wooden roller massager, which is basically what it is, and didn't think anyone would ever buy this. Put it up for 10 bucks, and it sold. So I guess you can sell just about anything on eBay. This is a little electronic component, vintage. It's a little rectifier for some old equipment. I got like 5 parts bins full of different vintage electronics, and I've been selling them for a couple years now, and slowing down now because I've gotten through all the good stuff. But this year I had 2 of these. I had them up for $19.95 and no interest. I just lowered the price down to about 16 bucks, and the first one sold. So this is a Canon battery charger for a Canon SLR. I believe it's for the 5D Mark III and other Canon SLRs. Also came with a battery, but the battery is generic, so it's not really worth much. And this came from auction. They were auctioning off. They had a small bit of stuff that they were auctioning from the University of Massachusetts. It was basically lost and found stuff from campus. So somebody had lost this at one point. And I think I paid $2 or maybe $5 for it. I forget. I knew it was something that I could flip really quickly. So I put it up for 25 bucks and it sold.